Welcome back to Boxing Unwrapped. I'm Ahmed the Artist, your host. We're back to these, faceless videos for now because I'm under the weather. I suffer from headaches and the lights and stuff like that. And the editing kind of aggravates the situation. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna talk about Floyd Schofield Jr. and their newfound deal with Golden Boy Promotions. And what does that mean? What does that entail? We're gonna break down we're gonna take a look at the video where Senior explains his reasoning why. So I'm gonna play that for you in a second. But first, if you're new here, thank you for picking this video, and if you please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing if you're new. And if you're old subscriber, continuing to support, please also consider liking and sharing this video. It helps us out a lot on this channel because we're minuscule, we're very small. But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna take a look at this video with Floyd Schofield Sr. and his whole reasoning on why he chose to go with Golden Boy Promotions. Again, it's kind of like a re-up. Instead of fighting Abdullah Mason right away for $1 million, which was offered by Abdullah Mason's camp, and instead they went ahead and chose to go with $5 million for 5 years with Golden Boy Promotions. And I'm gonna give you my thoughts after the video of what I think that is. So stay tuned after the video that I'm gonna play for you with Schofield Sr. and I'm gonna give you my rundown on why this is a bad look, I think, in the whole scheme of things, because it might not be as good as it sounds when you say 1 million here, 5 million there. Yeah, 5 million is a bigger number, but we're gonna have to actually look at that. But anyway, we're gonna take a look at this video right now, and remember, stay tuned because I'm gonna come right back after the video. All right, here it is.
What's going on, y'all? I hope y'all having a good day. I figured I'll address the comments and the news that's out there, the bullcrap about Kid and Mason fight. Alright. Number one, yes, we want to fight Mason, and yes, we will fight Mason, according to Golden Boy and them. But Golden Boy had bigger plans. So yes, Mason offered us $1 million, or their team over there offered $1 million for us to fight. But Golden Boy offered us a 5-year deal for $5 million. Guaranteed 5 years employment, guaranteed we'll be fighting for the title soon. What would you pick? Alright, so we got the Greg Hackett's and all them saying all that nonsense they don't know about. Oh, he ducked 2.5 now because I have $5 million on the table. A deal for $5 million on the table. And the team that's offering is saying nah. So I had a choice. Are we going this side for $1 million, or we going this side for $5 million? And $5 million, that's just the minimum. That ain't even everything. That's just the minimum. So y'all can believe whatever y'all want. I thank you to the fans that's been following us. We appreciate y'all. And I really don't like putting money business out there, but I figured I'll clear the rumors. Nobody's scared of no Mason. We look forward fighting Mason. We shared the ring with them. Anyway, our next opponent in June is a good one. This is a test. I can't say who it is, but this is a good fight right here. Alright? So I hope y'all tune in June. We fresh off the bench. This is our first fight back since November. And if this ain't a step up, I don't know what to tell y'all. But I gotta wait for them to announce it. But this gonna be a good fight. But anyway, enjoy y'all day. And haters, keep hating. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Oh my God. And the Mama Schofield thing. Oh, it's amazing. This is so funny. But I'm enjoying my life. And I hope y'all enjoying y'all's too. Peace.
Well, you heard it here there from Floyd Schofield Sr. Now, here's the thing. $1 million versus $5 million. If you're posed by the obvious question, the way he's framing it, you say, well, yeah, of course, $5 million is better than $1 million. But you have to look at it as a whole, right? So, $1 million to fight Abdullah Mason. Okay, if you're confident in your son's, skill set, and you're also saying you've shared the ring with him before, you should have took that fight. And here's why. Because if you beat Abdullah Mason now, that gets this threat out of the way now while he's still young. Your next fight, you have more negotiating power. So you could be at 1.5 guaranteed, and then, move up from there. Now, if you are dead set on your son's skill sets, then you go ahead and you go to the next tier, right? Which could be 2 million, 2.5, what he wanted for Abdullah Mason in the beginning, right? So now you're 3 fights in, you could possibly be, at 4.5 million, 3 fights in, which still leave you 2 fights that, comparable to your deal. You can make more millions of dollars, right? So the thing is, now you have to think, okay, so it's 5 years, $5 million. That means that Golden Boy Promotions has a plan to have you fight once a year. So your son in his prime years is going to be shelved more than likely once a year, because if it's $1 million per fight, now you could run, that deal down and say we're going to fight twice a year, and in 2.5 years get rid of that deal, right? And then okay, so there you go, and that's that. But it sounds like the bigger plan that De La Hoya has is once a year, very careful chosen fights, and maybe Abdullah Mason at the end of that, right? So we're gonna get a lot of nonsensical fights that probably that don't matter. I don't know who this guy he's fighting next that is a big test up. I mean, if this guy's a huge step up in competition, then what the hell was going to be Shakur Stevenson then? Because you were ready to go against Shakur Stevenson, and now you're telling me the next guy's a step up. Then I don't understand that, right? So it's not a marquee name, obviously. It's just another stepping stone. So that's fight number one, and we're already 6 months into the year, almost damn near, right? So that means that you're gonna get $1 million for this one. No pay-per-view back end, because you're not gonna be pay-per-view, and you're not gonna be pay-per-view in the first 2 fights, right? So you're not gonna be pay-per-view headlining. So he's saying, that's guaranteed. Well, the guaranteed only comes when you have a pay-per-view back end or something else written in the contract that ties you directly into the ticket sales, right? Because of view. But if you're not headlining, then you're not the reason why the tickets are being sold. If you're an undercard or co-main, you don't get that. Maybe you get a little bit, maybe you negotiate something in there for a co-main. But if you're not co-main, at the very least, or you're not going to get anything. So he's saying that's just the guarantee. That's not everything else. He's assuming he's going to be a pay-per-view star. That might take, at the way that La Hoya likes to move his fighters is not indicative of somebody who's going to move up quick. Somebody's going to move up very slowly. So you're not going to be headlining anything. Look at Shakur Stevenson at this point of his career. Teofimo Lopez at this point of his career. Even Haney at this point of his career. They're not headlining anything, and they have accolades, and they're not headlining a damn thing, right? So what is Schofield Jr. going to do different than those guys that's going to propel him into pay-per-view status so he can get a back end on that $1 million? You're just stuck with the $5 million. That's it. It's over. There's no negotiating power. Now you can hopefully you were smart enough to put something in the back end of that contract that will, get you in there and get you a renegotiating power. But if you didn't do that, then there's just no way out. But I guarantee you that De La Hoya has an out clause in that contract in there that says if you don't perform to the to the standards of what we think you should be performing at, that we're going to let you go out of the contract. They will execute their out contract, and then now you're out $5 million, right? You're out whatever the remainder of the contract may be, $4 million, $3 million, whatever it might be at that time, right? So these fathers need to stop acting like managers, when you don't have that administration business sense, and you should totally hire somebody that knows what they're doing to negotiate on your behalf, because this, you're seeing it with Bill Haney, you're seeing it now with Schofield Sr., and while their kids are making millions of dollars, more than most people will ever make, it's not even up to the potential of what they should be making, because the fathers think that they're smarter than they are. And I'm sorry, that's the way I have to say it. You can see it plain as day. It's even with Teofimo Lopez's own father. I think the reason why he's not headlining and doing better numbers now is because of his father's transgressions in the past with his career, being the face that he was. So while that all sounds well and good, and mind you, you have to pay your corner out of that $1 million. So that $1 million, you got to pay your taxes and you got to pay your corner. So your dad got to get a cut. You get your cut, your corner man, your chief second, your cut man, your trainer, your nutritionist, all that gets paid out of that $1 million. At the end of the day, he might walk away, Schofield, with $200,000, right? So it's not like he's going to get $5 million in the bank. It's not like that. So I think that they should have kind of had, more of a free agent type situation going on. Maybe go in 2 fights with Golden Boy, get $2 million in, and then see what they're doing, and then re-up again and negotiate even higher. Get the Mason fight in, win that, get the next one in, win that. Now you have better negotiating powers. So your next 3 fights, you can say to Golden Boy, give me a 3-fight, contract for $2 million each, 2, 4, 6. Now you done got $8 million out of the deal, right? But anyway, that's my whole perspective of it. I don't think it's a smart move. I think they should have believed in their own abilities and bet on themselves. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Do you think that he did the right thing? Do you think financially this is the way to go, or he should have bet on himself and like they say they are, because they're as good as they are, like they say, and gone ahead and fought these fights and then have the negotiating power on the back end? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video, and I'm out. Peace.